Hi there, I'm Susan Tanya from Empowered Women Faith Club. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If this is your first time joining us, please subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to receive updates about any new videos that become available. Well, we are continuing with an exciting new series that we started last week called Awaken, Encounters with the God Who Speaks. And this week we're going to talk about a topic called, Is That You, God? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Have you ever heard a voice within you that you knew was clearly not you speaking and you wondered if that was God? Have you ever second guessed yourself whether you were hearing the voice of God or was it all just in your head? Well, friend, you're not alone because I have had the same experience. I've heard the voice of God and I've wondered if that was God speaking or was it all just in my head? Well, this week we're going to talk about how to recognize the voice of God and how to know that that is God speaking to you. Last week we talked about Job 33:14, where it says God speaks again and again, but people don't recognize his voice. And this week I want to give you the key verse. It's from Isaiah 30, verse 21. And it reads, Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, This is the way, walk in it. I love that verse. But here's another translation that I also love about the same verse. In the True Living Bible, it reads, And if you leave God's path or go astray, you will hear a voice behind you saying, No, this is the way, walk here. I love that the voice of God is there to guide us when we go the wrong path or if we stray away from his path for us. His voice tells us, This is the way to go. So that's so good to know that God speaks to us and he wants to guide us along the right path. So if you've ever wondered if you're hearing the voice of God and weren't sure and second guessed yourself, let me tell you this. I want to share a personal experience that I encountered the voice of God in a different way. I've always heard the voice of God through the years as I read the Bible in different ways, and I would hear the voice of God literally lead me to passages in the Bible that I would open to, and it would speak directly to the circumstances that I was going through. But this time around, I heard the voice of God in a different way. Over the summertime, we had been just experiencing some overwhelm because of being quarantined with kids at home. And I would leave every morning so I could get away from my kids, honestly, literally. But so I can have some quiet time in the morning because it was the only time I had away from my kids. I started to do some morning walks that quickly became prayer walks for me. And those mornings set the tone for my day. And one of these mornings, I walked and I talked to God, and I was just praying to the Lord that I would hear his voice with more clarity. It was a season where so much was unexpected. There was so much uncertainty about what was going on and what to expect. And so I wanted to hear the voice of God with more clarity. I wanted to know what the next step would be. I wanted to hear the voice of God to guide me in this season of uncertainty. And if you've ever felt that way, I want you to sincerely just ask God to speak to you about the season and lead you and to guide you. So as I walked and I talked to the Lord, I passed a dead squirrel on the road, and immediately I heard a voice say, Pick up the dead squirrel from the road. And literally I knew that was not me because I was walking so far away from that dead squirrel. And that squirrel had been sitting there for about a couple of days or so. And I continued walking and tried to come up with the excuses as to why I couldn't pick up the dead squirrel because I didn't have anything in my hands to pick up the dead squirrel. And immediately I thought to myself, Is that you, God? And I heard that voice confirm it. He wanted me to pick up a dead squirrel from the road. And yes, the voice of God can sound like he's telling us to do something ridiculous sometimes. But sometimes God just wants to see if we're going to obey, if we're going to trust that voice enough to obey, even when it sounds ridiculous. So I kept on walking as I tried to wrestle and understand why the voice would tell me to pick up a dead squirrel. And I walked a few blocks and I saw a wooden stick and a shattered dashboard on the side of the road, and I heard the voice of the Lord again. And he said, Those are the things I have given for vision for you to go back and pick up the dead squirrel. And I was shocked. I couldn't deny that I clearly heard from the Lord. And so I picked up the dirty stick and the shattered dashboard, and I turned around and went all the way back to where I had seen the dead squirrel. Scooped up the squirrel, and thank goodness there was a trash can around it. And I dumped the squirrel and I laid it to rest in the trash can. I was so excited about doing that. And that moment, I saw a shooting star run across the sky, and I caught that shooting star in awe because I'd never seen anything like this. In that moment, I heard a voice say, "That's a sign." I took a picture of that shooting star that burst forth across the sky, not knowing what that sign really meant. But that was when God began to speak in a new way. That obedience that sounded really ridiculous, following the voice of God and obeying to do what He had told me to do, has led me to a prayer mountain that I have followed the voice of God. It's amazing whenever we start to follow the voice of God, even when we're unsure if that's God, because here's how you recognize if it's God truly speaking. Job 33 verse 14 says God speaks again and again. So if God is speaking to you, He's going to speak again and again. That's how you know it's God speaking. And if you're not sure, if you don't recognize if it's God, pray and ask. Ask God to reveal to you, to confirm it in ways that clearly tell you that this is God speaking to you. So friend, I'm going to leave you with that for this week. And next week, I want you to tune back in because we're going to talk about some encounters we've had at a prayer mountain that I was led to through the voice of God. So exciting. I hope you join us next week. Well, thank you so much for watching this week. Please leave a comment below. Let us know what you would like to learn about the Awaken series. What you love, what you would like to learn, we would love to know. So leave a comment below. And last but not least, you can connect with us on social media, Instagram or Facebook at Empowered Women Faith Club, or on our website, empoweredwomenfaithclub.com. If you've enjoyed watching this video, please like the video and subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to receive all the updates of the new videos that become available. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope to see you next week. Have a good one. God bless you.